The current vice president uses religious freedom as an excuse to license discrimination across broadly areas and denying LGBTQ Americans their basic rights. It's wrong and it is immoral what they're doing.
Joe Biden kicking off Pride Month at a fundraiser for the country's largest LGBTQ advocacy group in Ohio last night. And this year it takes on greater significance because it's been 50 years since the Stonewall riots triggered the modern-day movement. And this weekend, several 2020 Democratic candidates expressing their support for gay rights. As you can see there, it's dizzying. And for the first time since getting to office, President Trump's Twitter feed featured a message for Pride Month, but that didn't go over well. Well, joining me now is Danielle Moody Mills, host of Woke AF on Sirius XM, Jonathan Lovett, Senior Vice President at the National Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce, and Aisha Moody Mills, they know each other, is back with us as well. Thank you guys all for being here with me. Let's start about this, and let's start about the power with you guys of the gay vote here in 2020. How powerful will it be?
I think it's going to be considerable, right? We have a president that one of his first actions that he did was to rescind Obama-era protections for LGBTQ students. Another action that he did was to kick patriotic transgender people out of the military, right? So this president and this entire administration, who with his vice president who believes in conversion therapy, has been an enemy of the LGBTQ community. So the audacity of him to get on Twitter and want to wish anybody a happy anything as it relates to Pride is just audacious and shows incredibly how out of step he is.
Yeah, let me show you what the president and his administration has done, in fact, in the last few months, in the last couple of years, when it comes to this issue, and get, Jonathan, your reaction. So you have the transgender military ban, the rollback on Obama-era regulation extending health care protections to transgender, told the Supreme Court that federal law doesn't protect transgender people, would weaken protections for homeless transgender, remove Title IX protections for transgender youth, and it goes on and on and on. It's quite a bit. Jonathan, do you feel as if the movement has stepped back in the last 2 years?
You know what's amazing about where we are at this moment in our country, while it seems like we're under attack and facing unprecedented challenges, it's also such an important moment of coming together for our community. Because the great thing, you asked about the LGBT vote, and what's so important about it is how not monolithic it is, just like any other community. But what's so special about it is that LGBT people are at the intersection of every community in America. We are women, we are people of color, we are immigrants, we are veterans, and their issues are our issues and vice versa.
But are they the
so
president's issues?
Holistically,
are they the president's issues?
Well, they don't seem to be the administration's issues, but ironically, this is an administration full of business leaders, and if there's one thing that we've learned in the business community, especially at the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce, we talk about it every day, it's diversity is good for business. And if this administration wants our economy to thrive, which seems to be their top priority, they have to make sure America's employees are free to work and travel, that our business owners, all 1.4 million of them, and the $1.7 trillion they add to our economy, are free to thrive in this country and shouldn't be looking over their shoulder with concern.
So you're saying that the president should note the green in the pride flag as well.
That's a great way to put it.
But here's the thing, and my friend Jonathan is so correct, business leaders generally care, but all the people that this president has hired absolutely hate LGBTQ people. The personnel matters, and if you look at all of his initial appointees, including the vice president of the United States, they are completely homophobic. I want to just add one more thing, though, about the power of LGBTQ issues in this election, is that it's about the gay vote for sure, and all of us who are going to come out to the polls, but the vast majority of Americans support equality too. So it's really about our allies, and I think that what we're seeing is that straight people don't have time for this administration's foolishness and bigotry against the LGBTQ community either. And
as you guys all have pointed out, it's not a monolithic group whatsoever, but you do have the first major presidential candidate who's polling fairly well.
Yes.
In the 2020 race. He's there on the cover of Time magazine 50 years after Stonewall. Did any of y'all think this would be where we are?
No, it's not. But I think that it really isn't, because I think that after we had marriage equality pass, we were so excited and felt like we had finally been seen, and the invisibility cloak that had been placed on our community had been lifted. The idea that Pete Buttigieg and his husband are on the cover of Time magazine saying "First Family," and that he is somebody that is, applauded and cheered, is something that is exciting. It is a moment for us, and it's a pushback and a direct pushback against Donald Trump.
And Jonathan, really quickly, I mean, are these candidates doing the right thing in order to get the vote here? As we've pointed out, some 90% of Democrats or gay folks are Democrats.
Yeah, and it's such a diverse crop of potential candidates for the Democratic field that each one of them brings a unique perspective, not only on their own diverse communities, but on what that intersection with the LGBT community means. And because of that, we're going to see such a strong push through this campaign season, demanding that the Equality Act get passed and that we finally have 50 state protections for our community, that our businesses finally have a fair chance to contract with their government, that our communities are also being protected around the world as an issue of American foreign policy.
I'm going to have to leave it there.
So it's a great time ahead.
But as you know, the majority of U.S. states still allow conversion therapy, vast majority, rather, for that matter. Our thanks to Jonathan there in Philadelphia for us. Danielle Moody-Mills is going to stick around at 3 o'clock. And Aisha, have a great vacation. All right, coming up in the next hour of MSNBC Live, the terrifying moments in